I'm sure most of you already know Lisa. She's the librarian of the Favonius Knights, is known as the Witch of the Purple Rose, and has a voice actress that just screams ara ara energy.
あれこれ以上いけないね。すごい。よいしょ。ちょっと待って。そんな色っぽい声出さないで私。
While she may appear calm and relaxed, Lisa was once a high-strung student of the akademiya and is still considered by some as one of their most promising students. But much like Tainari, she left all that behind once she reached the height of her research and realized something hidden behind the gift of her vision. So what was it that she discovered, and what is this curse people keep talking about? Before we get into that, if you want to see more Genshin Impact content, do consider subscribing to the channel. Now to answer these questions, I first need to talk about Lisa's history in Sumeru. In her youth, Lisa had spent time studying in the akademiya. What her area of focus is unknown, but it's implied that she studied magic and elemental energy, as she refers to her area of expertise as magecraft. She also has experience in brewing potions and as such likely spent her time as part of the Spantamat school that focuses on elemental energy, alchemy and ley lines. Her knowledge extends beyond this though, as she seems to be interested in knowledge purely for the sake of learning. Many members of the Knights of Favonius actually hold Lisa in high regard because she is quite well versed in many areas of academics, from something like advanced arcane knowledge to something as down to earth as winemaking. Now Lisa wasn't just interested in learning the basic magics of Tevat, she wanted to unravel the secrets and fundamentals of magic or elemental energy itself. She eventually reached a point in her research where, in order to continue further, she needed the one object that is considered as the pinnacle of elemental manipulation, a vision. At this point, I would like to dazzle you with a long and detailed story of how Lisa manifested her vision, but in reality, the story of how she got it isn't as interesting as you might hope. See, when she reached this wall, she basically accepted that in order to uncover more of this hidden knowledge, she would need a vision. Her desire was presumably strong enough, and when paired with a drive to uncover the unknown, allowed a simple thought to manifest into a vision right in the palm of her hands. That's really all there is to how Lisa got her vision. With the vision, however, Lisa was able to push into uncharted territory and obtain the veiled knowledge she sought after. Upon reaching this milestone is when she had an epiphany, and this is the first of two reasons as to why she left the akademiya. See, when she received her vision, somewhere deep in her subconscious, Lisa had come to a realization that the vision wasn't all it was meant to be. In the world of Tevat, a vision is often seen as a gift, a blessing the gods gave mortals to help them change the world. But for some reason, Lisa had felt a huge price hidden behind this gift, something that wasn't revealed upon receiving one. I'll come back to this a bit later, but let's move on to the second reason why she decided to leave. During her time in the akademiya and through a lot of observation, she also saw what a thirst of knowledge did to people. You see, the pursuit of knowledge comes with a price, and the uninhibited desire to gain all knowledge can lead one down a rather dark path. After spending some time amongst other scholars and seeing them desperately seeking the next big discovery, while the sages and more senior researchers spend their life away on committees, Lisa began to see the effects of this dark path and realized she wanted none of it. She felt that a life devoted purely to inflate one's sense of self-worth by showing how smart you are isn't a life well spent. And all the knowledge in the world wouldn't be a fair trade-off to mountains of regret later in life. So after 2 years of what is referred to as advanced study, Lisa decided to leave the akademiya. Now, if you've watched the video or read anything related to Lisa's lore, I'm sure you've heard the story of how Lisa is actually cursed, and that half her life is gone or she has little time to live. But when I was researching her in more detail for this video, I didn't find anything that specifically mentions this. There is no curse or disease mentioned anywhere in her lore or voiceover lines, at least none that I could find. So I think what she was referring to when it came to losing half her life was the time she spent in the pursuit of knowledge. After seeing what it did to the akademiya scholars, sages, students and her classmates, Lisa realized that the price of knowledge was time. Time spent learning about the world instead of living in it. She realized that a lot of her peers had fallen into this trap and were unaware that they were burning the candle on both ends. This is ultimately what led her to take up a job as a librarian. Now I doubt she regrets the knowledge she has obtained, but rather wishes to live her life in a more fulfilling way, at least to herself. It doesn't necessarily mean that she doesn't have time left, but rather most of her life up until that point was focused on the pursuit of knowledge. This also ties in with her constellation, Tempus Fugit, or Fugit, I don't know, which translates to time flies. Mona also makes this assertion when talking about Lisa, and that her constellation denotes the trade-off between knowledge and time. So I don't think that Lisa is necessarily cursed in the traditional sense, but rather has realized that pursuing knowledge and unraveling the mysteries of the world can be a bottomless abyss and an obsession that forces time to move without one realizing. While this makes the most sense from a translation standpoint, this is what was presumably expressed in the original language, I can't help but wonder, for someone as smart as Lisa, perhaps she realized something more that came with pursuing knowledge. After all, there was that ominous feeling she had just after receiving her vision. Now, I'm not trying to drag the video out with pointless theories or guesses, but when Lisa got her vision, she felt something deep inside her that made her a bit fearful. She still chased after the knowledge, of course, but on an almost instinctual level, she seemed to have realized the true purpose, or rather the price of the visions, even if it was just for a brief moment. You see, in the story so far, the pursuit of knowledge, while noble, has always been met with tragedy and destruction. The students and sages of the Sumeru akademiya is a great example of this. In addition, every civilization we've seen so far that has seemingly attained high levels of knowledge and achieved great technological advancement always ends up being destroyed. Khaenri'ah is a great example of this, as their whole civilization was destroyed by Celestia seemingly at the height of their knowledge and technology. I feel that Lisa, in that moment, got a glimpse of what would befall her if the pursuit of knowledge was continued to the very end. So while she did want to essentially retire and enjoy the rest of her days, I think it's also partly driven by this realization that the visions aren't the gifts we think they are. It also doesn't help that those who have followed the path a vision sets out have largely been missing from the story, like Vanessa and Guhua. Perhaps knowledge and technology leads humans to alternatives in ascending, making the path set out by the gods obsolete. Or perhaps with enough technology, the gods aren't even needed anymore. There have been quite a few indicators that the gods of Celestia in the story aren't all that they seem, and eventually we might discover the truth, much like how Lisa has. But that does it for this video. If you enjoyed it, do consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, and I'll see you in the next one. As usual, have a nice day.